All right, folks, welcome back. Game number 2 of the doubleheader of the Gridiron Queensland live streams, brought to you by Live Streaming Brisbane. Thanks to Paul Mills and his family of streamers. As you can see, the coin toss in front of you there. The Ravens ladies have made it out, and it looks like the Thunder have won and deferred their toss, or their option to the next half, I should say. With accuracy, I'm Kenny Andres. I'll be play-by-playing the action with you throughout this Week 11 Women's Division matchup, and joined with me, representing the Griffith University Thunder, I suppose, and still enjoying the hair of the dog, is Michael Jones. How you doing, Mike?
Kick-ons on a Saturday night, pretty good. I think it's been a good day so far. Really good football down here. The field's been good, and I'm really keen to see this play. I haven't seen too much women's football this season, so from what I hear, Ravens are pretty good. Thunder, pretty good.
Yes, Thunder, the league leaders at the moment, rocking a 7-1 record. The Ravens sitting in third place in this 4-team competition with a 4-4 record, though that one in the loss column for the Griffith University Thunder has come at the hands of the Bayside Ravens, which came all the way back in round 2, which is effectively the start of the season. None of the women's teams played in the unofficial round 1, which is effectively just ran by a Colts. That was just concerning a Colts side. But yes, 22-6 all the way back in week 2, where the Bayside Ravens got the better of the Griffith University Thunder. Since then, they've gone on a 7-win tear. Most recently, coming off a 50-0 victory at Logan against the Moreton Bay Raptors. Before then, a really tough victory against the Gold Coast Stingrays back at Gold Coast, which was a huge game. That wasn't until Amanda Ewers scored in the fourth quarter that they saw the result decided. But yes, the Ravens a little undermanned, if you will, say today. A couple of injuries, and enough for Christy Moran to say, that's it, I guess I've got to kid up.
Well, just looking at these team lists you've got in front of us, Kenny, just, the Thunder almost doubled what the Ravens on their team list. So. And
that's before I scratch out all the unavailables on your team list.
I think it's been, for all the teams, not just the women's league, but the men's, Colts and juniors, you really do need to build up a big roster, make sure you have the depth to carry you through, because it is a battle of attrition. Doesn't matter which division it is. So we'll see how it plays out. If I'm a coach, I want to have a lot of depth, because you get into, week 11? There's going to be a lot of injuries by that stage. So.
Well, the Ravens have a squad of approximately 16. Only 3 of those are actually rookies, one of which making their debut today. So, while small, it is an experienced lineup. That being said, the Griffith Uni Thunder, who will tackle the returner there around the 40. They boast the biggest. Karen
Still
Christian
going.
thought she had beaten the whistle there. They boast the biggest numerical roster in the league when healthy. So, 1st and 10. The Ravens offense will take the field first. Led out by quarterback Ellie Sharman, who's played a host of positions through her 6-year career, but mainly wide receiver and outside. A linebacker this year, whilst dabbling in it last year, made the full-time conversion to the first string signal caller. Here she is now in the backfield, and they'll run a speed option to begin with, and she'll take it forward and pick up a hefty gain of 4 yards, meets a bit of contact while at it. Nice. By Amanda Ewers, opposition quarterback and now linebacker.
I like that. This reminds me of juniors a little bit. You get those players who are playing basically offense, defense, special teams. I love to see a little bit of Iron Man football still in GQ.
Absolutely, will be a war attrition by the end of the fourth, and it certainly tests a few players and their fatigue levels. 2nd down and 6. Pitch now out to the rookie running back, and she fumbles it there, taking it forward. I think was Sade.
Sloppy.
Kelly. Actually, check that. It is Chantal Peaver, I think.
That's a tough play to go back in a hurry up as well on. Definitely messes up the continuity a little bit. If you drop a toss which hits your hands. So,
well, 3rd down and long now for the Ravens, and it's a hard hit there that slodges the ball. We've got a fumble, and it will be picked up by Peaver, and will put the Ravens into a punting situation. Ellie Sharman getting up uncomfortable after that hit.
That looked like they got a pretty good. Sharman took a shot to the ribs there, by the looks of it. They're still going hurrier, by the looks of it. No huddle. I'm assuming a punt coming up.
Showing blitz. Other Thunder rolling out. They're going for it here, I thought, or unless they're trying to punt it here. And Sharman won't get anywhere close. He got excited for no reason there, and that'll be a turnover on downs.
Interesting. For the first drive, I mean, third and what was it, like 16? There's a lot of work to do there. So curious on the play call, but stick with it. Be accountable for your decisions.
Yeah, we saw a couple of odd special teams decisions in the men's game earlier. For those who might have missed that game, in a very exciting game, the Ravens won 34-21 in a game that went down to the wire. Jared Stegman, Darius Holiday-Miller in their Ravens getting the job done in the final minutes of the game. Their women's hoping to emulate that. Amanda Ewers hold the phone at a running back and running with gusto here. First down and more. Now, there's a story I wasn't told about. Casey Cubis at quarterback again. An Australian quarterback, shouldn't be any surprise, but Amanda Ewers has been the starting quarterback for this team throughout 2019 with only spots of action. And not only that, now Ewers is going off the field here, so she's not going to stay on. Florida's the usual starting running back will come here. Cubis looks like she will be starting QB, and it's no gimmick. She'll be running the offense tonight, at least so far.
I like it, and when I've seen her at training and just generally playing games, she's got very good mechanics.
Short underneath and
perfect. Like you can't complain with the mechanics. She catches the ball, short wind up, gets it to where it needs to go.
She's got long levers as well. It's
she's also she's very versatile. She's a great receiver. She can play on defense if she has to. As a coach, you've got to be happy with having a player like that on your team.
Well, when your backup quarterback is an Australian quarterback, you're okay. That last pass to Taylor Roberts incomplete, bringing up 2nd and 10. They'll hand this off to Floridis. Floridis shakes the first tackler as she does so well, but doesn't pick up a whole lot afterwards, and that'll make it 3rd and long.
Little bit of work to do here. I like Cubis at quarterback. I think it's
I think there's often a split debate about people where they want to see Cubis, whether it's at quarterback or whether it's at wide receiver. Ewers has certainly done a wonderful job there, so no reason why she shouldn't be at QB number 1.
Yep.
3rd and 9. Cubis stays in. And laying the smack down there.
Great tackle.
Is the rookie.
Perfect tackle, actually. Good form. See on the replay here. Shoots through. Nice and low, straight in there, and keeps the legs driving. It couldn't be coached any better than that.
Now, well, on the list, I've got this as Chantel Piva, but that looks awfully similar to the tackling form of the experienced Brittany Todd. So I'll see if I can get a confirmation on that. On 4th down, they're going for it. Floridis is trying to put everyone in the spin cycle, and it won't be enough for a first down, so they will trade turnovers on downs on their first opening possessions, both of these teams.
Interesting. I mean, they ran that play 3 plays in a row. I know nothing about the game plan.
Is it possible that they're just trying to simplify the offense there for Cubis, who obviously hasn't been in quarterback for a little while?
Potentially. I mean, they're in favourable field position. You'd hope that she has had some practice and training. So
short play here. There's nothing. There's no shortage of physicality here.
I like that.
Ellie Sharman copping another shot, not the first one she's taken today.
Well, no regard for Amanda just goes flying in there.
And
I love it.
And well, because she's not playing quarterback, Ewers more than happy to expend the energy on defense and has done so both on special teams and defense this afternoon. And that is, I'm going to say that's Todd, and that is Liz Partout, the usual accruer of big hit ooze. And she walks back with quite a bit of confidence on her face.
Great tackle. I love seeing this.
And lays the lumber there Well,
Third in a long way. They've got a bit of work to do here, so we haven't seen too much out of the playbook yet.
And
Back
they'll
to
give
the
it to Todd. Todd is found some space on the left-hand side. She's got the first down and more. Picks up about 13 yards on that play. That keeps this drive alive.
Amanda is flying across.
There she is, cutting up field, and yeah, you're right, it is Ewers who takes him down eventually. And I'm going to go with my gut here and assume that is Brittany Todd. I could be wrong, and until I see a jersey number 25, I'll back myself. Here on first down, a fresh set. They'll keep this, and it's a fumble. Todd will have to jump at it. That she does.
Jeez, there's a lot happening, isn't there? Big hits, fumbles.
And actually, maybe that isn't. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe that is the rookie who I've been confusing it for. Todd, okay, I'll take that back. That is maybe Chantel Peaver there. Just with that hit earlier, credit to Chantel, tackling like a veteran. I thought that might have been Brittany Todd. Second down and long. They'll have to pass here, and they go over the middle. It's completed to Karen Christian, who's got some space. Now she's trying to beat up on some DBs, and that she does. That's grabbed them a good chunky yardage back, and that'll make it an easier third down conversion.
I was watching the Ravens pre-game warm-up, so they ran this play a good 15 times straight. So no surprises, we saw it then, executed it perfectly. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that again, if they just flip it, go the other way. So watch out for Karen Christian.
Third down and short. They'll try to go to the running back, and I think that might be
Looks short.
the 11 and Sade Kelly, who thought was the starting running back this evening. She stopped short. That'll give them fourth down. And if they were going to go for it 30 yards deep in their own end zone, I'm certain they're going to go deep in their own field position, I should say. I'm sure they're going to go for it now. Sade Kelly. And they'll give it to her. It's the most awkward of exchanges, though. It didn't even leave the hands of Ellie Sharman, and that will be another turnover on downs.
You can't make those mistakes on fourth down. Execution needs to be perfect on short yardage plays. It looked like there was some confusion on the handoff, so there's got to be some communication issues somewhere in the play call or on field.
As we get closer to playoffs, those are the sort of things that you just want to sort of tighten up and
I think that's what you have to work on, making sure you can do your fourth and short plays without any miscommunication.
And here goes Cubis on a keeper, calls her own number, and they'll grab a couple of yards on first down. They're going for a bit of a speed option themselves.
Yeah. She just kept it herself.
And again, going to the same play, getting a similar result. Flipped over, and that'll grab her an extra yard. And here's on second down.
Amanda is long.
One of the stronger ball carriers in this competition, proving why there. And perhaps that's part of the game plan, just to prove what you can do at running back. I do like the way she runs the football there.
I mean, if you can run the ball that well, that's the second big carry for Amanda Uwes. Just keep doing it. Just keep going back to what's working for you. You don't have to reinvent the wheel here.
Do it until they take it away.
Yep.
First down and 10. Three receivers out to the right. Patu at tight end. They'll give it to Ewers again. Patient, looking like Le'Veon Bell, but unfortunately, the rest of the defense gets there, and can confirm it is Peaver in 56.
I don't mind it. She was patient. She did really well not to lose more yardage than she did. So I think that was Swaysland on the tackle there.
Candace Swaysland, linebacker of the year in 2017. And is that the end of the quarter? Well, both these teams have been running the football. We've seen a quick first quarter, still no score though. So end of 1-0 all. The score has just been an exchange of turnovers on downs from these two teams. This is only the second possession here for the Thunder.
You can see a play action surely coming up soon. I can't confidently say because I don't watch enough football
Women's
in
div.
general. So if I was a coach, I'd be saying you've set up the run pretty well here. Take a shot. Away you go.
Well, let's see if that comes to fruition. Second down, double sticks. Looking at second and 12. Ewers at running back still. Taylor Valich, near side wide receiver. And, pressure coming in from the Ravens and taking her down from a defensive end position there. Isla Cook.
So speed option. I'm curious about the spacing between Uwers and Cubis on this play. They look very close. And Uwers is almost in front of Cubis. How can you even pitch out off that defensive pressure in your face straight away?
Unless that was, of course, some sort of keeper. But, yeah, Isla Cook, whatever it was, blew it up immediately. The Australian defensive end back there. And also East Tigers representative, a star in both sports there, and she's looking in shape right about now. Here she is at defensive end once more. Third down and long. Pressure's there. Pass over the middle to an open Liz Pot. Oh, no, don't check that, sorry. Liz Ulale. Wrong Liz. Has been really developing at the tight end position in the last couple of weeks. We've seen her develop on the shorter routes, and there she is adding some of the longer, more vertical routes to her resume.
Really smart play call. In from the tight end, she just runs a sort of plant route or a post route. A little bit of depth, 45 across the middle, a lot of space in the 9-man game. 9-women game, I should say.
As we see on first down, a slant over the middle. Valich, and Valich cops a shot from the opposite number 10, Candice Swaysland, laying the lumber from her safety position. Candice played linebacker for a long time, defensive end before that, and now she's made the transition to safety and not afraid to hit.
I like it. Really impressed so far with the defensive play. A lot of big hits, a lot of big contact. Loving it.
And Moran now in on defense. And Moran will contribute here, but not before Peaver stops Ewers underneath initially.
Nice job. Look, maybe the blocking. They were trying to set up a little cross block, maybe a trap almost. They just didn't have enough blockers for defensive players shooting in. So,
do want to apologise there to Chantel Peaver, who I was certain was Brendan Todd initially. It is most certainly Peaver in the number 56 jersey. Third down and long again. Haven't been able to avoid these situations. The Thunder, neither the Ravens. Cubis with a deep drop under pressure from Christy Moran, and now it's been intercepted by Isla Cook. A huge block from Moran. Was it in the back? The referees don't say anything about it. Isla won't be stopped, and Cook runs into the end zone untouched.
Great play.
She's probably played in this field before.
Reminiscent of the senior men's game.
It's exactly how the men's game finished.
Thompson and Capewell. So
as we try to bring it all the way back,
comes across. Let's see it in forward.
You see Moran come unblocked on the outside.
Amanda Uwers chasing down Moran. Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Uwers still down. It's getting carried off.
Replay there.
Great start for the Ravens, right? The defense stepping it up.
First score of the game going to the Ravens through their defense. And I think they're still discussing whether that block was legal. We had the look of it there on the replay. In fast mode.
In fast mode,
hang on.
it's fair
the flag's
play.
been thrown.
Oh.
Peter Davies is on the field there. He's convinced it was clean. They're going to say block in the back. Well,
I disagree. That was a fair hit. That was from the side. It was shoulder.
They don't have the
Shoulder to
luxury
shoulder.
that we have of obviously screen, and make your mind up, folks at home.
You can see Moran coming across.
That's pretty clean if you ask me.
I think it's fair hit. That's a tough call for the Ravens.
And Moran's also in disbelief, but that's the call that's made. I can understand how in fast motion they'd feel like that's a 50-50 call.
Yep.
The luxury of slow motion there, we could see that was a clean shot.
Yep.
At worst, to the side.
You're right. They're out there, they're making decisions on the fly. We've watched it a few times, so you just got to respect that. They're doing the best they can out there. It happened very quick, so.
So, what we thought was the first score on the board to a runaway touchdown to Isla Cook will be taken away and in fact go the other way, and it'll be, well, here's the thing, if it was after the possession, yeah, good, I was about to say Ravens will keep possession there because it was after the turnover.
Yeah.
So they'll keep the ball, the Ravens, but
Pressure
they'll be
coming.
back and they'll pitch this back to Piva. Piva shakes to the outside with a nice move. Now uses a bit of a stiff arm to get past Floridis, and it's a good run there from Piva.
Interesting pitch technique. I don't think I've ever seen that. The old double hand netball toss.
We're seeing more and more of them in this league.
I don't mind it. If it works, it works.
If it gets there, it gets there.
2-by-2,
Low
early snap.
That's awkward at best, and now trying to avoid the pressure there was Ellie Sharman, but Medolano, back from injury, taking a week off to rest. A hammy, I believe, slams her down to the turf.
That whole play just looked ugly. I don't know if it was a miscommunication on the cadence, or the quarter. Sharman wasn't expecting the ball, but if you're not ready for the play,
Wow.
that's normally going to be the result. So.
Well, they might have awkwarded themselves to a penalty here, offside on the Thunder.
Lucky.
So they'll grab 5 yards when they initially had lost 5.
So the awkwardness works. I like it.
That's what I try to tell myself on the dating scene. First and 5 following that penalty. Sharman back to a quarterback position. Looking for the snap. Drops back nicely. Looking for downfield and looking for Swaysland. And Swaysland can't bring it in.
If it hits your hands, it needs to be caught as a receiver. Just general rule. So if you can get your hands to it, you've got to catch it. So for me, that's hands, that's catchable.
Well, I know you have a long history with Candace, so I'll let you get away with it.
Yeah. I'm sure I'll get a message tomorrow after
Which
this
is
one.
looking over the tape. 2nd down and 5. And this is another give to Piva. Duke's back. Still chugging her feet. Liking the look
Nice.
of Piva so far.
like
Flags
that.
have been thrown.
Really good movement of the feet. She just kept them chugging along. Definitely a bulldozer back there. In comparison to a butterfly, just really keeps them turning over, moving forward. Just got a flag.
Offside again.
Okay.
Twice on this drive, but obviously declined. They'll take the first down via their own merits.
Undisciplined, I think. If multiple offsides on the same series, I think someone on the sideline or on the field needs to be making sure that doesn't happen again for the Thunder.
No Liz, no, she is a Mike Backer. Liz Part2. Almost lined up rather deep though. Ruining back her speed. Sharman, it's a designed keeper following a running back, but
nice.
taking her down nicely is the big defensive tackle, Ali Tia.
Yeah, I like it. Good blocking scheme. Looks like there's a pull there from the center, cutting across. Ali Tia does a great job to block up the middle.
And a good job there. If they're at all having to snooze at that defensive tackle position, that play's gone for at least 10.
Yeah, great. Yeah, you're exactly right, Kenny.
For 2nd down and 1. Another speed option. They'll fake it. A late pitch out to Piva. Piva's fumbled it. And now Liz Part2 will take her down by the scruff of the neck.
Yeah, pretty interesting way to get it. I think you need to be decisive in those moments. It needs to be early or not at all. That's going to be the result in most cases if there's any sort of indecisiveness.
In that situation, again, you still holding onto the ball with a right hand there. Sharman, usually there'll be a left-handed pitch, but more and more coaches are being a little more lenient with that. And it's another keeper, and Sharman's got plenty of space, takes a slide. Intentional or not, I'm not sure. but successful nevertheless.
Straight up, it looks speed option.
She cuts back all the way behind her centre there, actually.
Really good job. She put her foot in the ground, turned it up. She's gone vertical, north-south.
Is that a 2-minute warning I might have seen? No? Timeout?
Yep. Looks like a timeout by
Thunder.
the Ravens.
The Ravens, was it? Well, Pete Davis is the one running up to the white hat this evening, so there, I think, in the yellow jacket, Ike Summerfield, former legendary DB of the Gold Coast and played a lot of time in Europe, and now has come back and is offering his services, the defensive services to the Ravens as their DC.
Great football player. Very smart player. So I imagine that would translate exactly to how he coaches the team, how this defense works, which they've been doing pretty well so far.
Made many highlight plays in both Sun Bowls and state campaigns. 4th down, 3 yards. Short 3 though, call it 2.5.
The last time they were in this situation, there was a botched snap almost, so miscommunication. So I'm hoping they
2 in the backfield this time.
rectified
Karen Christian at fullback moves to her right. Sharman will give the leaders behind Christian,
nice.
who only meets someone in the second level. I think it was Patu. But a huge contact, and it's a first down for the Ravens. Good play call.
Really good play call. So the fullback just basically clears the gap out. She's looking for any players, which there are done. Ooh, real big contact.
Jeez, don't you love seeing that? The
I do
fullback
like
and a
seeing
Mike Backer just...
Nothing better than that.
Ray Lewis just shed a bit of a tear there. Seeing some of the senior Ravens men celebrating their win here on the balcony, and this passes over the head of Paver, incomplete moving forward.
Big win. When's the last time the Ravens beat the Rhinos in the men's division?
Good question. Let's turn to our sideline officials. Jason Leon. Last time the men's Ravens beat the Rhinos. As we see, we're on screen there. You can give them a wave.
Just getting a little interview here.
Last year, was it the year before? It's been a couple of years.
It's been a good couple of years. It might have been all the way to 2017, possibly in the playoffs, if memory serves correctly. Sharman with a
Late
pitch out.
pitch.
Great work from Paul Mills to get back to the action quick enough. And eventually,
No, that is correct.
that running yards will take him down to 2017 in the playoffs is my confirmation on the last time the Ravens men's team beat the Rhinos in the men's division.
Again, looking at the play, it just looks, to me, from a coaching perspective, a little indecisive in the pitch delivery. That's me personally. So,
And at some point, do you think it's almost just, I think we've discussed this on almost every game I've covered, but just may as well just let them use the rugby league style pitch?
yeah, I don't mind it. And I've seen the men's team, the Ravens, do the old rugby league pitch. There's nothing wrong with it if that's how we're taught growing up, and we all know how to do it like that. Just be decisive, whichever way you do it, whichever way you coached, be decisive.
Sade Kelly trying to find some space on the outside. Jessica Salmonte shutting her down. But obviously the downside to that, and if you ask any American why they wouldn't do that, and as we're seeing the 2-minute warning be announced, is that obviously it takes away the option of turning that play into any sort of pass play. But when you're struggling to achieve perfection with that pitch, then maybe it's worth giving up. Sharman drops back, climbs the pocket nicely, under pressure from Luano, now has to sprint out of the pocket, and
good
eventually
hit.
taken down nicely with a form tackle by Patu.
Really good hit. I'm liking the level of intensity from the defensive side of it.
I honestly think that a lot of teams could benefit by getting a Liz Patu highlight reel and just looking at the way she makes tackles. She does it perfectly. Obviously, with the rugby style tackles coming into play now, she does it better than most.
Send her a message. We'll tee it up.
And inside 2 minutes, reminding everybody. And that was a
game,
turnover
isn't
on
it?
downs. My apologies.
Very quick game. A lot of running, so it makes sense.
Also been long possessions. This is only the third possession for the Thunder right now. Cubis throws hard to her left, and that could have been dangerous had it been brought in by Sunshine Lawrenson. Incomplete. Taylor Valich, as you can see the right side of your screen there, yet to get involved after having a huge game last week.
I'm not sure what the concept was there. It looked like 2 out routes and maybe a go route on the outside. A little slow in the delivery, which is okay. She hasn't been the quarterback for the whole for the season, so there are going to be some timing issues and delivery issues. So, generally with a quarterback, you want to make the throws as easy as possible if those issues exist. So.
Handoff to Ewers, and Ewers has to try and beat Cook. Does so for a couple yards.
Interesting spot to be in as a coach. I think you got to play it safe and go into halftime 0-0. It's fun to call a timeout. Kel Housen going out there for chat.
Kelhausen handling the defense for head coach Amanda Ewers.
A lot of chatting. Kel trying to give them a little boost.
Amanda had a brief chat to her this morning ahead of the game, and she did say there was a bit of a surprise there, and I'm assuming that's her playing running back and Cuba's playing quarterback. But she also said that defense has put in a lot of work over the past week and is very stoked to see how that comes to fruition, and said she's glad she's not playing our defense. Of course, it helps that she's on her defense, as we find out now.
Yeah, if you've designed it, you know it better than anyone else. You've got to be out there.
Third down.
She's a good enough athlete to be out there both ways.
On third and long, Cubis has to go long.
Oh, good
Finds
throw.
Roberts beyond the first down marker. A good pass for a conversion there.
Really good pass from Cubis. She's got a really nice mechanics, really natural looking, smooth. Finds who she needed to, a little bit of space just on the slot receiver. So, I mean, that's a good spot to be in, working your way down, just coming into halftime. If they can go down and score, I think that's a great result for the Thunder, considering how this first half has played out so far. Because I think this is going to be a tight one, personally.
Thunder are getting pretty comfortable with that. Earlier in the season, you look at some of these results for the Thunder. 12-8 victory over the Stingrays, a 14-0 victory over the Raptors, and 8-0 victory over the Stingrays up at down at the Gold Coast, I should say. They've gotten pretty comfortable with grinding victories out.
Yeah, very low scoring. And that means, the coaching staff trust that the defense are going to keep it low scoring. They just need to score once or twice a game, and that's enough. If you ask any coach if that's what you want, you'd be happy if your defense is that good.
After a timeout, they're back on first down. Not a whole lot of time left on the clock. This pass intended for Valich, covered by Swaysland there, incomplete. And for any of Taylor's friends and family at home, you'll notice that I'm probably correctly pronouncing her name now. For a long time, I was under the impression that Valich was acceptable. Taylor only just recently corrected me on that and telling me to pronounce Valich. It's apparently Valich. There's more corrections to come. I'm just waiting for it to become appropriate. I've only just been notified of a bunch of things I've been saying incorrectly all these years. Cubis. And second down and 10. Drops back over the middle. She aims and incomplete, although impressive juggling act there by Batu, who has got a deep catch already to her name today. Couldn't bring in that one.
You got to catch those. You'd hate to look back when you're doing film review, and it's stuff that hits your hands. That's stuff that needs to be executed. It changes the complete drive, the momentum of the game as well. So,
third down and 10 now. Ravens, if they can get a quick stop here and ideal an incomplete pass or dare I say a turnover, they'll give themselves a sniff of a chance of trying to add a score on the board before the end of the half. Minutes, and shall say even seconds, dying down. And this will be a late option. Cubis with plenty of space and covers a lot of ground with those long legs of hers. They'll have to use their third and final timeout if they have one, the Thunder.
I like that. She puts her foot in the ground and she just turns it up. It was decisive. As a coach, that's what you want. Put your foot in the ground and go, or pitch it out to your running back.
Third and final timeout there used by the Thunder. Kelhausen given the green light to use it there as they got a first down.
Surprising, a little early. Like, I'm not sure if field goals happen in women's
Not as
football.
frequent. They do happen, just
They do?
not
Okay.
as frequently.
Okay.
So, and fewer teams do them. Out of these two teams, the Ravens are probably a little more likely with Marissa Hayes.
So you don't need to save timeouts for your field goal. if you
No, I
work it
imagine
down,
they're going for
really.
touchdown here.
Okay.
Seeing Samuel Harkness and Coach Booker coming up the top here for a post-game beer, I imagine, or apple juice, I should say.
Apple juice. Ooh, I didn't know they had that at the pub.
First down and 10. Cubis with not a whole lot of time on the clock. Good protection though. Pass over the top of Roberts. Impressive given she stands over 6 foot.
Oh, that's a scary pass if you're the receiver working through the middle. The safety over the top, eyeing them off. It didn't look like she was going for contact, but
Swaysland, whose time at linebacker might have worked against her that time around.
a little bit. 2nd and 10, about midfield, so not too much play action so far.
Yeah, surprisingly, both teams are relying on run plays to get the job done. Not even a little rocker step or anything.
Yeah.
Once again, it's great protection over the middle. This one is intercepted. This one there taken by Sade Kelly, the rookie, and takes the opportunity to add points before the half away. It looks like we could be ending the first half with no points here. Both defense striving perfection, both with goose eggs on the board.
I'm not sure on the play design. It looked like 2 quick slants from the slot receivers. Cubis was a little rushed there, so not the ideal result. But get your defense out there. They've been playing well. Finish this half off. Have a rethink in the sheds.
Well, Sharman will need to try and get this ball downfield. Doesn't have the strongest of arms. And that was to Swaysland to try and get something happening underneath.
Yeah, Yanni Floridas. Nice play at defensive back. She came flying up. Defensive back, you just need to get your hands on the ball, hit it down, you've done your job.
And she's another one who'll have a bit of excess energy now. As I said, usually RB1 for this team, but with Ewers handling a lot more of that, that allows Floridas to be a little more peppy here on the defensive side of the ball. They've got him. Will they let him? They'll say that the defender was unabated to the quarterback there. I thought that Sharman might have had an opportunity there.
Good discipline from the Ravens, and that's something you got to coach. Playing with the cadence a little bit works in their favour, so it actually gives them a good opportunity to go down there and get some points on the board before halftime.
Not exactly a deep threat team, the Ravens. So they're more of a grind it, long possession offense.
Patient offense, yeah.
Let's see what they've got. Sharman giving signals out to her receivers, both sides. And under pressure, trying to stay downfield. Puka Collar's behind her, and Sharman will be hit, loses the ball, but 2, of course, involved on that play. Fumbles, goes out of bounds.
I like that. Liz Padu coming flying over the top. So the hand signal, she was doing the crossing route, so gets her crosses, doesn't get the read. Liz Padu comes flying over, shoulder to shoulder.
Oh, she's a human highlight reel, dead set.
So good, so good. Such an athlete. You just got to respect any sort of player, men, women, kids, whatever.
The good news.
Any sort of athleticism like that.
The fumble went out of bounds there for Sharman. Sharman now will hand this ball off. Good blocking if she can get to the outside. Samonte, though, cracks past her blocker and shots that down before it does any damage.
Actually really impressed with some of the tackling technique I've seen so far tonight. Really solid.
Beautiful.
I can honestly say that I've seen some worse tackling technique in the men's division. So
Yeah, it's in its youth still, the women's division, but almost 8th year now, if memory serves correctly, of American football in Australia, or at least in Queensland. 2012, if memory serves, was the first year back when it was the FGLQ. You know, starring in Friday night games out at Logan, where still a lot of these women were participants of, if not 2012, but in 2013. There's one of them now, Moran, who came late in that 2012 season. Swaziland, I think, was the year after that, or maybe she was 14, in fact. Brittany Todd was 2014. And of course, you still got plenty of this new blood, Karen Christian, and on the other side, Puka Carla and Liz Patu, although Patu was also one of the earlier ones before she went off to play rugby and then came back. And Viana Floridis, new to the game last year, and now already looking like an experienced vet. In the backfield, oh, here we go. Here's their chance for a big threat. Christy Moran. Now, is she there as a player or decoy? And they've got, well,
it's a false start.
I thought it was a false start. This is a fumble. Well, they've surely, I mean, there's a lot of ugly that went on that play.
It wasn't pretty, so false start, almost an offside, and then fumble.
So I don't know, who are they going to pin Moran, or are they going to pin the defensive player in Newell there?
I think it looks like they pinged Moran. Ravens going back 5 yards.
Well, keep in mind, Moran hasn't taken a snap in 2019 so far. This might be her first carry. Nope, they'll be in there to block. Rolls out of the pocket. Sharman throws it across her body. Was looking for Swaziland, incomplete. Can't have a whole lot of time left on the clock.
It's interesting. I've been watching Sharman, and she's done the little crossing hand signals a few times while at the quarterback position, not while in the huddle. So I'm curious as to why they actually don't just sat in the huddle.
Unless she's making audibles.
She could be, and she keeps coming back to the same place, so she must feel confident that that's an easy throw for her.
This is 4th down. Speed option to Moran. Moran can't handle her lollies, and she'll fumble this. A rusty start for Christy Moran at running back.
Yeah.
You can see the frustration on her face there. As you can see, Moran, we all know what Moran can do when she's in full flight. Didn't get the opportunity there.
I mean, if it hits your hands, again, I know I'm going to keep saying it, and I'm going to stick to it.
I understand the frustration there from Moran, but that pitch was good enough.
If it hits your hands, you're good. You're good. It's not the quarterback's fault in that situation. Moran's got to catch that ball and do something with it right now.
And I think the Thunder breathing a sigh of relief. Moran doesn't need much.
No, she's an athlete. She just needs to catch the ball, and she's going to put the Ravens in really good field position.
Speaking of athletes, I don't know, I just haven't seen number 5, Haley Peterson, for the Thunder. I was told there wasn't any notable inactives for this game, but Peterson's one of the few who could probably keep foot, step by step with Moran, and this is incomplete on 1st down.
Just Cubis getting hit as she's throwing the ball. Always a difficult throw as a
bench there.
Quarterback.
Floridis. No number 5 on the field, so
it's looking windy still, isn't it?
It's still looking very windy. There's the birthday. Here's something I want to give mention, number 83, if we can get the camera to continue to. No, that's Laura Newell. It's her birthday today. Happy birthday to Laura. They're celebrating her birthday the best way I know how, which is playing a bit of footy there, a top of the table clash.
No better way to spend it.
I'm sure you spent a couple of birthdays on the football field.
Too many
15 years.
birthdays on the footy field.
Between you and your brother Corey. Under pressure, Moran trying to get in the backfield, leading this ball to be underthrown, intended for Sunshine Lawrenson.
Don't mind the intent. Really good intent. It's got a little bit of float on it too. Just, distance is a concern. You've got to put that ball up earlier. She did a 3-step drop there, so you really need to calculate how far those throws are going to go.
Cubis, I'm still putting the ball up in the air because the wind's behind him right now.
Yeah.
And let's face it, even if it's an intercept, it's not the worst thing in the world, because provided your tackling's on point, you should be all right. But take advantage of this wind. And they'll go over the middle to Valich, and she holds the ball despite copping a shot to the ribs from Swaziland. A great catch there. Clock still running though.
It's going to be just short of the really good catch. So it's just a 10-yard in. She goes up and gets it. defense flies straight to
Well, and that will,
half time.
yeah, that'll be the last play of the first half. It's a nice one there for the Thunder to end on. 0-all, neither of these offenses able to crack the defense. Matter of fact, we haven't seen a whole lot of offense in the other sides of their respective fields so far, so the defense doing their job. 0-all here at halftime. Kenny Andres, Mike Jones, live streaming Brisbane, bring you the GQ action, the second of two doubleheaders there. 0-all, see you on the other side of halftime.
It's like Darius Holiday Miller having a big chat with Kate Moran in the foreground of the screen there.
Yeah, welcome back, half number two in the second of the double headers this evening. Bayside Ravens featuring in both of them. The Bayside Ravens men came away with a tough win over the league-leading Brisbane Rhinos in game one. Right now, well, it is 0-all between these two women's sides here. That's Christy Moran on screen right now, making a 2019 debut, from my understanding, has been held out due to injury and also just general personal decisions. He's been trying to make the transition to coach and stepping back on as a player this evening. But right now, speaking about league leaders, the Thunder, 0-all. This is one of the tightest games they've been into. This is the same sort of situation they had against the Gold Coast Stingrays a couple of weeks ago. They came away with an 8-0 victory by the end of that one.
Well, I mean, you got to look at the defense and what the Griffith Thunder's defense has done so far in this game. They just need to make sure they can go down there, score some points, get the lead, and then just defend from there. Oof.
And this kick is a big one, certainly utilising the wind. And wait a minute, because it was touched, and this goes against the ruling we had earlier. And this, I want to make this correct. It's Marty Toa, even though I have been calling her Hannah Bard for the last few weeks this season. She is making a return. They got her first pick six of her career last game there, despite me calling her Hannah Bard. Now, that could have been a dangerous situation there, because she touched it in the field of play, rolled it back into the end zone. Had Marissa Hayes managed to get back and get on that, that would have been a touchdown in favour of Birdtown.
Yeah. The good situational awareness to realise she's got to get the ball, she's got to get out of the end zone, just make sure there's no risk at all to, because 7 points is going to be critical in this game right now.
You'd almost feel that the next possession, the next touchdown or the next score could be the only score. So right now, horrible field position for the Thunder. And now Liz Patu's come in to try and add a bit of oomph to the running game. And it's Cubis taking it herself. Meets the shoulder of Brittany Todd, her Queensland and Australian teammate. Fair bit of contact there, but that's a good first down play there for the Griffith Uni Thunder.
I like it. The motion from Liz Patu around the backside, still setting up that same speed option to that side.
And it'll be rubbed out. False start on the offense there.
Weird that they let them play.
Yeah, I was just thinking the exact same thing.
No, it should just be as many whistles as you need to make sure the play stops. So pretty late on that one.
Well, it'll be half distance to the goal, so they'll be moved back. Well, actually, I guess interesting. Thought it'd be a little further back than that, but in any case, they're playing it from their own 3-yard line. Cubis now inside her own end zone. Looking to keep it, or will she? She'll get taken down for a safety here. A lot of indecision there from Cubis, I think. And Kyla Cook was robbed of a touchdown earlier. This time, they won't take that safety off her.
Definitely, Katie. You can see the indecision. She gets the ball. She's kind of looking for the mesh with the running back. That didn't happen. Yeah. So in her head, she's got bells and whistles going off. She doesn't know what's going on. So
Isla Cook just blows past Liz Ulale there at the tight end.
Yeah. And Casey Cubis having a big chat with some of the offensive line there. 2 points could be massive in this game.
Well, it's not the first time this season should the game end 2-0. Week 1, we saw the Bears beat the Vultures. I believe it was at the Raptors by a 2-0 margin, where a safety decided the game.
Oh.
You get the sense with the way these two defenses are playing and the lack of execution from one sense on both sides, that could be the final ledger here at the end of this game unless one of these offense turns up.
I think it'd be interesting to see how the Ravens come out after getting that. Psychologically, you're up a few points. they want to go down there and score some.
Rachel Carey to take this safety kick. It will be just safely fielded there by the 77 and Jasmine Weggett, now with a couple of years with the Ravens since coming down from North Queensland.
So good field position here for the Ravens as well. But they're inside funded territory. You just got to see them build up a drive, get a little bit of continuity, mixed up between pass and run.
Going back to two backs in the backfield. Another awkward snap, and it'll be recovered by the Ravens, but not a great start for this offense. And I was literally, and actually, in fact, that looks like Piva getting up a bit gingerly. Hold my thoughts for a couple of seconds here. Oof. Good finish there. She sort of clutching at what I thought was her knee. But I was about to say, after the safety, does your offense come out with a bit of a fresh of breath air, a little bit of weight off your shoulders? Right now, that error suggests otherwise.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's the third fumble or through an exchange for the Ravens. So it's just a little sloppy, a little not executing what they're doing. So I don't know if the safety's helped at all at this stage.
Fullback dive to Karen Christian there. Got some couple of yards, makes this a 3rd and 12. Still going to be a tough job for this offense. You start wondering.
I haven't really seen anything on the Ravens offense, or even the Griffith. The Griffith Amanda Uiz has had some big runs, a few good passes.
Give us that a couple of players. Speaking of possible potential offense here goes Moran. The handoff is successful. Moran shoots up the middle. Moran yet to be touched. Moran looking for the sideline, and she's gone. She's put it all together, and there is our first touchdown of the game.
Oh, the Ravens will be happy to have her back out there.
She's almost a cheat code, isn't she?
She is. She's so good. Look at the hip mobility, the speed. She just cuts and turns. It's so smooth. And that's a dimension the Ravens have been looking for throughout this game. So get the ball in her hands, let her do her stuff. This game's going to be different. The Griffith Funders defense are going to have a tough time stopping Moran.
Well, I was told that managing Moran's workload coming in was going to be a significant part as we watch the 2-point conversion here. Moran's scooting here, but under pressure is Sharman. Eventually they'll call her down. Ewers takes her down, so this keeps it 8-0 right now. That safety they're very grateful for, because it'll at least be a converted touchdown the Thunder will need to at least tie this game.
Well, this drive is going to be critical now for the Thunder. The last few drives we haven't really seen much from the Thunder. So for the long term, for the rest of the game, they're going to have to go down there, get a few completions, start setting up some of the bigger plays that might help them out later in the game.
So right now, setting up to kick off, and
still pretty windy down here at Kitchener Park.
It is. Right now, is that a huge psychological blow for this Thunder team?
I think so. Just based off the previous results, all very close, one or two score games. 2 points was enough to change a game. 8 points, definitely enough to change a game.
Had they converted there, was that almost, that's a huge two.
For me, yes. Yeah, it just feels like this game's just gone so quick. It puts a lot of pressure on the offense right now. Cubis, Amanda Uiz, Floratis, all of them go down there. Valich, Padu, they got to go down there. They got to do something right now, in my opinion.
Well, we saw a hint of it last possession. Right now, the Ravens reached in for their special gun, which was Moran. Thunder, surely their answer is to put Liz Partout at running back.
I think so.
And find a way to get her into some open space. It looks like that's the case right now.
Get creative, get Padu into space, find ways to get Uiz into space. You got weapons there. You need to use them in creative ways. That comes down to the play caller, sometimes the quarterback. Whether that's a screen, just quick out routes. Because there's a lot of open field there in nine-person football.
Into the spread right now, equally spread across the field. Short pass there, and the defense is up to break that play up. That's the number 19 coming across and making a play, Natty Cuttress, second-year player.
It's got to be a quick throw on those quick flat routes. A little slow in delivery. I know we've spoken about it before, a few timing issues with a fresh quarterback coming in. But you need to be considerate with every single drive from here on out, because this game is flying. It's going to be over before we know it.
Part two at tailback. Sunshine Lawrence and near side wide receiver matched up with Todd. And they will give it to Partu straight forward, but meets a Raven around her ankles, and that's enough to slow her down for the rest of the troops to take her down. I think it is the 56 in Chantel Peaver, who's having a whale of a game, if you ask me.
Yeah. Doing a great job out there. She's been a part of every play almost on the Ravens side of things.
The other option we haven't really talked about, if depending on whether their commitment is to making this offensive game plan with Cubis work or winning the game, but the option is throwing Ewers back at quarterback and throwing to Cubis, who's a proven downfield threat.
Yeah. And it's a valid point.
Lawrence in there, the intended receiver, incomplete pass.
Got to catch those. Hits the hand, you've got to catch it. Just looks like an out route. Everyone doing out routes, you could call that Ohio, Omaha, whatever you want. You got to catch it if you hit hands. I feel like there would be some rationale behind the decision to have Cubis at quarterback and have Amanda Ewers out there on the defense primarily at the moment. So I'm not entirely privy to the situation. So.
And Ewers, an AFL player, will punt this downfield, crosses halfway, and what are the Ravens players doing? It will be picked up from Ewers.
I think in that situation, you just push someone into the football,
100%.
Right? I mean, if they're that close to the football, push them into the football.
I am physically getting behind one of these players there and pushing them into it. Just
give them a little nudge. They hit the ball, you get the ball back.
It's a live ball.
Game's different.
I hear the old poison call. I'm surprised that call didn't go out.
I didn't hear any poisons, but it is pretty windy, so.
Monte and guesstimating, looks like that ball is just 3 yards short of halfway.
2 backs for the Ravens.
And there's another high snap. She'll just try to make the best of the situation here. Liz Patu strips this ball away, and that is a woman hungry for a win here. What a turnover by Liz Patu.
Great play to capitalize on. As a quarterback, it looked like there was a little bit of indecision. And then just having it out there, loaf of bread, that's going to happen every single time. So, good job for the Thunder to capitalise. Ravens not looking decisive in their intention on offense, which is a little disappointing. I think this late in the season, we should all be able to see the intent.
8-0. Just when we thought 8 points might be enough, the defense stands up for the Thunder. Ewers now in the left-hand slot. Floridis at tailback. Pass protects nicely. They get it to Ewers. Ewers after the catch picks up a couple more. Eventually she's taken down by Marissa Hayes. Nope. Brown Tricky, my apologies.
And that's good. Just nice, simple completions. Amanda Ewers is looking straight away from the get-go, so you could call that just a look route, basically. She's waiting for a Cubis to get the ball, so just get it there early, let your playmaker use the space out.
Cubis to drop, again looking left-hand sideline, out of range for Valich. Incomplete, will bring up second down.
Just looked like a stop route on the outside. It looked like Ewers was doing that same look route as well, so.
Got the Oz QB himself behind me, the winning QB today, and Jared Stegman. Trying to get him some free promotion for his vlog. Oz QB, OZ QB. often features my commentary.
2-by-2 formation.
And they've got a bit of a run play design. It's the speed option. Florida's trying to use her pace to the outside. Beats Cuttress and spin moves her way past the first down.
I like that. As a coach, you teach your running back to just put the foot in the ground, put your shoulders down low, fight for the first down. She's done a little extra, a few little spin moves. You appreciate that as a coach. Someone who knows contextually where they stand on the field. They know where they have to get to. So,
and I'll dare say it, I think Florida has got one of the best spin moves in the comp.
I liked it. First time I've seen it, loved it. Keep doing it.
Valich, near side wide receiver, inside her. Ewers will run on a bubble screen. It's a beautiful pass. Hits her in stride, and now Ewers has got plenty of space ahead of her, taken down behind, I think, by Swaysland. Might have been Cuttress.
It was just a bubble screen concept to both sides, so they've mirrored the concept, and the quarterback just gets to decide which side she wants to go to. I think Ewers is going to have a big game today, offense and defense. She's been real busy so far.
And that play could be on all night long. Last game of the round. Ewers looking for over the middle. She's got it. Cubis is firing up. Hits Ewers over the middle.
Nice job as well. Just a quick slant to Ewers. Plants her foot in the ground, space straight away. And that's a pinpoint throw. That's in between two linebackers. So Cubis actually doing a pretty good job out there. She's got her team back into the spot they need to be in.
Turns out she just needed a little bit of time and a couple of reps to get warmed up.
Yeah. I think she's feeling warm now.
To tie the game. Cubis under pressure, looks left, tries to hit Ewers on the same play unsuccessfully. This will keep the 2-point buffer in favor of the Ravens.
Looks like they just ran the same play. Just Ewers running a quick slant again, a little bit behind her.
Well, the one difference is Cubis did look front side first on that play. He's trying to grab someone on the front side, then came back to a little safety outlet, which is Amanda Ewers.
You know the benefit of having a player like Ewers out there is that you can get double coverage on her, free up somebody else to have single coverage. So, the Thunder coaching staff should be looking at how they can use Ewers as a decoy in some of their passing concepts.
Especially something like some sort of fake slant or a slugger sort of thing with someone over the top. But
definitely.
I got to say that was a great display from Cubis, using everything to her advantage there, a tight technique, and on top of that, the passing lane created by her height. She did absolutely wonderful to take advantage of that and did it textbookly. Kickoff now. Thunder only chasing a 2-point lead now. Carey. A week off last week, back this week. The right leg should be fresh. Line drive. Gets down to the second line, and Alex Aarons will field this and will accept the field position at hand. Yeah, coming on back in the field is Ellie Sharman. Not the finish to the drive she wanted last time out. Losing a fumble. Two coming in and poking it out and recovering it, which gave the Thunder the opportunity to go downfield. That's exactly what they did. The Ravens defense good enough to keep them out on the 2-point conversion attempt to give them this very, very slim lead. Their offense now trying to add to it. One touchdown on the board via Christy Moran. They go back to her. Moran has to cut back immediately, and this time won't be sprung for a long touchdown. A great job there from Meadow Luano, Lauren Newell, and Ali Tia. And Liz Patu, no surprises, blowing up the front side, forcing Moran to go backside. Second down now, half a yard gain on their first down. They give it to Moran. Moran squirts through, taken down initially by Puka-Kola, finished off by Patu.
Really good, decisive. She puts her foot in the ground. She sees the gap and goes straight for it. That's what you need in any offense, decisiveness, because indecisiveness will destroy offensive series, basically.
Third down and long 2. And I think
There's
it's
an injury on the sideline.
the staff being called over to, I think Meadow Lino's down on her haunches. Sorry, I thought it was third and two. It's actually closer to third and four.
Big four.
Part 2 lining up on the left edge now.
2 backs.
And they'll run away from her, and it'll be back to the rookie and Piva. Piva still
Working
pumping
hard.
the legs, and it won't be enough to convert, but it certainly makes it easy for them on 4th down.
Working hard, I like that. They're going straight back into the hurry up by the looks of it. Situations like this, easy 5 yards if you change your cadence. I haven't seen it once tonight so far, so.
Let's see if they go with the hard count. Todd, right slot, sways lane out, a wide receiver, very wide, almost on the sideline. Karen Christian in it, full back behind her, Moran. Blitz here from the Thunder. They get penetration early, they shake. Moran shakes someone off, has to step inside part 2, that she does, got the first down.
Disappointing for the Thunder defense. I mean, they get down there, they make a bit of contact with Moran early.
Moran signals.
So, the quarterback got dropped. No, if you get down there, you close it up like that, you've got to finish a playoff. So, disappointing. That could have been, fun to ball right there if they execute.
Moran
Thank you.
comes off now, subs back in. 56 and Chantel Piva. Deep drop, good protection. And now it's a run and being pursued by Newell, and will take it out of bounds. A couple times now, and the few times that the protection has been good for Sharman. She hasn't, I don't know if she hasn't been able to find anyone or she hasn't been confident enough to set up and throw. Do they have to start adding a few more underneath options for her?
It's curious. Like, I was just watching that play right then for that specific reason. They did a 10-yard in on both sides and then a 5-yard out on the inside. So mirrored routes, which is a really hard progression to do. You can basically lock into one side. So basically, if your one side's
Hold the phone speed option. It's done well. Lowers her shoulder to Sharman, and she's picked him up first down. That is something she is doing quite well.
basically, if you go for your progressions on one side, you can't go back to the other side because progression's already done. So, curious in terms of play design, but I think she's doing well in the run game. Really quick read, she's doing well at. So, stick to that. Let her do what she's best at.
Interesting thought on mirrored routes. We'll save it for the end of the next play. Piva still in a tailback. Aaron's at right guard. Pitches to Piva, but will they count that as a pass or a run? They'll say it was a fumbled run, and she'll push forward to her, utilising the advantage of the rules there.
I think that's the fourth time so far that we've seen them fumble a option with the old two-hand netball push almost.
Yeah, but Moran earlier as well. And
I don't know how that isn't resolved in practice, or technically, do they have to change how they deliver the football?
whether it's a little less flat and a little more 45
a little
degree.
more floaty. Like, there's nothing wrong with a little floaty. It doesn't have to be NFL standard. It could be rugby league, which we discussed earlier.
It's the end of the third quarter.
Smashing through it. This is going to be a tight one.
And it's 14 points since halftime. 8 points to the Ravens to start off the third quarter. Moran with a long touchdown. The safety, though, before that. And the Thunder answered back with a short 3-yard catch. Cubis to Ewers for a touchdown. Failed on the 2-point conversion. Gives us the 2-point game here as we enter the final quarter of play here in Week 11, the women's division. Ravens leading, hoping to be the voodoo team for the Thunder. Again,
Might be.
mentioned it to death. They are the lone team to hand the Thunder a loss this season. Back in round 2, 22 points to 6. And that continues a bit of the possible power struggle, should it come to this, between the Thunder, the Ravens, and the Gold Coast Stingrays. For a while, the Stingrays couldn't beat the Thunder, yet the Thunder, the Stingrays couldn't beat the Thunder, but they couldn't beat the Ravens, and the Ravens could beat the Stingrays, but had trouble against the Thunder. It is this crazy power dynamic between the three teams, and where all three between the three teams couldn't work each other out.
I love it. I think it adds a bit of excitement to the competition.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think it's changed a little bit from that dynamic now.
Last 2 years, the Stingrays haven't been able to make it back to the Sun Bowl because they've been running into the Thunder in the playoffs, and the Thunder have just had their number
Yeah.
in playoff football.
From what my observations from tonight, it's just the team that can grind the best is going to win football games. So, good defense, good run game. That's all you need.
Certainly is a grind. 8-6, and the Ravens are knocking on the door now, followed by consecutive good runs from Moran and Sharman.
Chat to Moran.
Second down. Under 3 yards necessary. Now the ball's been snapped, and now we've got a flag, and this isn't looking pretty.
Yeah, very ugly. Don't know what was going on there.
And Moran or Sharman, one of the two of them just looking confused there. I'm not sure who had to make the call of where she went, but it's against them.
Correct call. I mean, my interpretation is that you need to be set 1 second before the snap of the football, so I didn't see any of that. The referees have done the right thing.
No, not unless it's a motion, and she was the only one moving.
Yeah.
That being said, I don't think anyone's going to argue that decision.
Crossing routes from slot receivers. I've just seen that symbol again.
And
Oh.
she's under pressure, shakes the first one, cuts inside, and eventually is taken down. Facing a lot of violence tonight, Ellie Sharman.
She is going to be sore tomorrow.
Newell was in pursuit, shook her. Puka Kyler eventually takes her down. Now, wasn't enough for a third. In fact, she lost a good chunky yardage there. Now we're looking at 3rd and 5.
Tight one. Sharman having a chat to Moran.
And they'll give it to Moran. It's not the prettiest of exchanges, but she breaks out of a tackle, does Christy Moran. Moran has that determined look in her face, and she scores touchdown number 2, and the Ravens extend their lead.
Great play. Athleticism right there. The defense needs to know if Moran's out there, they need to stop her at all costs. Even if you have to leave other people in better matchups, number one, stop Moran. That's how they win the game. So.
Well, I think it's one of those situations there. I mean, they've been doing pretty well against Sharman in the past. Stack the box against Moran and just get Sharman to beat you, because right now Moran's beating you for 2 touchdowns.
No, I think so. If you have to go cover 0, double up on Moran, triple up, whatever you have to do, that's what needs to happen right now if they want to win this game.
Speed option out. Sharman will keep it in part 2. Puts her in her place.
I like that.
She is causing nightmares tonight.
Great tackle. She comes flying across.
And we see the reaction of even the Ravens players here.
It looked like it got it good.
Twice
But that never feels nice. You have a helmet on, you get hit into the ground, and then, no thank you.
14-6. Key thing being the 8-point lead once again for the Ravens. This is part 2. I imagine her night's still not done. She'll probably get a number called on offense once again. That said, Ewers and Cubis looking great last drive.
I think so. This game's gone really quick. Reminds me of when me and you were in juniors, Kenny. Like, those games just went like that.
I was even worse then because you had 9-minute running clocks. 30-minute running clocks.
Yeah. So the game was like started, boom, over.
You could use timeouts to waste time.
Yeah. That's what this is feeling like to me. So the Thunder have to be pretty onto it this drive, because who knows where we're sitting at right now in terms of how much clock is left.
And just to put it to perspective, they literally had the men's division earlier. I was counting the possessions. It's literally double the possessions compared to the women's game. You're averaging about 3 to 4 possessions, it would appear, per team in the 9-player format in men's, where they play full. Is it 15 or 12? I should know by now, but
I thought it was 12.
Yeah, 12
it is 12. It is 12.
12, versus 9-minute format.
Yeah.
the
I think it
regulation
changes
timing.
the dynamic of the game. So, like, the
Short
non-side kick.
kickoff. You kidding me? You're going to give them a short field? Well, maybe I'm just getting out of date.
No, that's
I would generally think that's a situation where you kick it downfield and make them travel as far as they need to, right? With the time ticking down.
I'm gonna be honest. I think it's a silly play call.
That's
I mean, the Thunder they've scored 6 points so far, right? And you're going to give them a short field, less to work with.
let's try to break down the potential of the situation here. With the women's kickoff, no surprise, they're averaging 30 yards downfield at the most there.
Yeah.
You get a 10-yard potential there, so you're really only giving up 20 yards and a chance to get the ball back and close out the game. Taylor Roberts beats a tackle nicely. He beats a second. Here she goes.
Nice.
Cuts inside Isla Cook.
Moves.
And a great play there. But yes, to finish my thought there, there is maths in the favour. We've all heard about the high school in America that doesn't punt or kick off because they think the numbers in their favour. There's extended logic out to the women's division here, I would imagine.
I think it's pushing it a bit. I mean, in a game this close, every single possession matters. To touch on a point you were speaking about previously about the amount of possessions each half, you're saying it's 4.5, right? 4 or 5.
Probably close to 4, yeah.
Yeah, every single possession makes a difference. You give a short field,
War over the middle, and that was intended there to Taylor Roberts, who made the last catch incomplete.
Got to catch those. To finish the point, every single possession matters. So I think you've got to be conservative on your special teams. Kick it as far as you can. Get your special teams unit down there. Add another 20.
And perhaps with the clock ticking down as well, it's just more extra time they have to do to make up time. But that's why we're in the booth. Cubis with, I think that's Floridis in the backfield. Under pressure from Moran, throws far left, intercepted here. Is that Brittany Todd? No, it's Cuttress on the right-hand side. She's out racing Cubis, and Cubis will knock her out of bounds. And we talked about possessions. Cuttress has just earned her offense one more.
Really bad decision from Casey Cubis. It looked like it was a preempted throw, so that basically just means she didn't go for a progression. She knew she was going to that receiver prior to reading the defense. It's going to be tough from here for the Thunder. They need to get the ball back, then they need to drive down the field.
Don't quite nail it on replay there, but Natsuko Cuttress with a huge play defensively there. Game-changing, I might say myself. First down and 10. A give is back to Piva. Piva goes north now, bounces it to the outside. Well read by Piva. Piva being chased down by Patu. Gets tackled inbounds. Thereabouts at the 20-yard line. Good run.
Really good blocking as well. Look at the blocking. They give her space to get to the outside. Patu all over the field. So I don't think it was 100% Patu's responsibility on that tackle, but she's still there. So that's the kind of player she is.
Thunder take a time out here. Now take a look at here. Now Patu really good at going left and right, but it's because it looks almost like a dive play there. A lot of linebackers converge inside, which gives Piva the opportunity to bounce outside, and she takes advantage of her speed and agility there.
Yeah.
Job well done. And then when we talk about patient running, you hear a lot of coaches talk about, that's it.
Yeah, exactly. It all comes down to gap control on the defense. Linebackers seeing a gap, seeing where the gap is flowing to. So you need to remember that these are dynamic gaps. They aren't the same when you look at them. They're going to change as the play develops. So in that situation, looking at that replay, that was static. The defense locked into those gaps. They weren't flowing across for the running back.
Got an interpretive dance there from Kellhausen.
I like it, Kel. Keep going.
And couldn't wipe the pride he had on his face last year when you guys won the Sun Bowl there.
It was a big one. I think it was pretty proud. We still chat about it when we have a few drinks.
I think you will for many, many decades to come, my friend.
Yeah.
Quite the effort. First down. Sharman at a quarterback, and I think that's Moran back at tail. Low snap. Sharman has to try and scoop it up. This time just locks the ball in. No thoughts of trying to offload that late. It was actually Kelly, in fact, at tailback.
It's a low snap. She does her best to get positive yardage. So, considering the situation, she's done well to get back in there. Still keep them about 2nd and 10.
Sharman, better snap, pitches it off. Out to Sade, and she cuts back nicely. These running backs all doing a pretty good job tonight for all the Ravens. Sade, Kelly.
Oh, I like that from Sharman. Decisive. As soon as she knows straight away, she gets her read, gets rid of the ball because her read, the way the play develops, she knows exactly where she has to go to.
Peaver back into the game. Sade Kelly comes off for a breather. Mitchell Bessie giving me a handshake here in the booth. After a big game from him, another awkward exchange here, and Patu racks up another sack. She is not making today nice for Ellie Sharman.
She is everywhere, isn't she?
Sharman is going to have absolute
shooting off
night
the edge.
sweats about Liz Patu.
There's not much Sharman can do in that situation. She's got to soak it up, take the tackle.
Had a chat to Sharman and Brittany Todd last week at the Logan City ground, and they said one person they've always got in their game plans is Liz Patu, and whether you game plan for her or not, she is going to be a factor.
Yeah.
And this one is out to Moran. Moran with Luana on her face, cuts inside her, and now she's off to the races, cuts back inside Artis, leaves some on the floor, and once again finding the end zone, matching her partner Darius Holiday-Miller with 3 second half scores, but flags on the field. Hold the phone, score not added to the board.
Great play from Moran. You can't, athleticism. She makes people miss. She knows where the gaps are. Griffith defense needs to.
And that play stands, and Moran.
And
on top of that, retrieves the football for you there. But
the Griffith defense needs to make sure their best athlete is matched up with the Ravens' best athlete. So Liz Patu needs to be on Moran, in my opinion. 100%. Number 9 should be following Moran.
Going for the 2-point conversion here.
Pretty big ask for the Thunder from here. I think you work on a few things you want to work on the next 2 weeks of the season.
Successful 2-point conversion here will mimic the scoreline of their first encounter. Not the case. Denied. Good measure of revenge there for the Thunder, but still a pretty big mountain for the Thunder to climb here in week 11 with the minutes ticking down in the fourth.
Yeah. Moran shoots out there.
She almost runs with an aura around her. Look at she's got 3 defenders around her. That should be a tackle, and yet she finds a way.
I don't know how that happens. I don't know.
And I can't fault the defenders because they're not the first 3 defenders she's done that to before.
Yeah.
Look at her state highlights. Look at her national highlights, international. Look at her time in America. They weren't the first 3. They won't be the last 3.
I think as a coach, though, you need to game plan in number 1 when you play the Ravens. How do you stop Moran? And that's double up on her or triple up, whatever you have to do, stop her, and then make them work for passing, getting other players involved. That's a game plan if I'm coaching in the women's division.
Moran, the last 2 offensive drives for the Ravens, resulting in Moran touchdowns. The Thunder, they started off with a safety, and then last drive, then grabbed the touchdown, and then a TD.
I think if you're the Thunder right now, you just want to work on a few situational stuff. As a coach, you want to work through all the stuff you haven't had a chance to in the game.
Will
today.
this be recovered? It's nicely by Ewers. At the same time, I wonder if the Thunder prepared. We talked about preparing for number 9, Patu. I wonder if the Thunder prepared for Moran. Moran hasn't played all season.
Yeah.
And even my intel suggested she was only going to play defense. And here she is running back, and it might take a snap or two, but ultimately it's like riding a bike.
Yeah.
On its tailback.
I think at the end of the day, as a coach, you need to have plays to stop playmakers. Whether that's specifically for Moran or specifically for the best athlete on the other team, you need to have those plays which you practice ready to go no matter what. So for me, you have to double up, you have to do whatever it takes to stop Moran, or number one playmaker.
Ravens send 3. It's not enough. Ewers
good
catches
catch.
it in stride. She has been a shining light for this offense this evening.
Yeah, really liking Uwiz working at running back, a little bit of receiver, and defense too. Players that diverse need to be on the field as much as you can get them out there. So
She serves almost like a bit of an H-back role
Yeah.
for them. She can line up in the backfield. She can split out the slot. She can play on the outside.
yeah, I like it. She's good at finding space. She's quick. She's got good hands. That's the exact type of play you want.
Good
in
run
that,
up to the
that
catch,
spot.
yeah.
Yep.
Cubis hands it off to part 2. Stiff arms the first, bullying defenders to the ground now. Here she goes with that strong left arm fend. Hands another 2 with shades of Marshawn Lynch. And a quick answer here to the Thunder. They don't want to see this game
Liz
closed out yet.
Whoa.
There you got 2 different athletes now. You've got the finesse of Moran and you've got the power of Patu.
You have the bulldozer and the butterfly. Wow. I mean, she just puts defenders to shame. Beautiful play from Padu. I mean, if you see that as a coach, you get her the ball as much as you can in space, because that's how you win the game, basically. Great play.
2-point conversion is huge here. Well, they've got it down to, they'll give them potential to win the game. And Cubis throwing out to the left-hand side to Lawrenson, who was open. The pass couldn't quite find her, though. That leaves 8 points the buffer here. The Thunder in the fourth. I don't know if we're going to be able to find out how much time we have left.
We're going to be pretty low, I reckon. I mean, under 4 minutes. Just rough guess. Liz Padu just
Sit
big
down.
get off me, straight to the end zone. She knows exactly where she's got to go.
Australian.
I think the two running backs, Moran, Padu, just athletes.
And I don't know what the citizenship situation is, but God, I hope we get to see them on the same backfield one day.
I couldn't even imagine seeing them both. It'd be scary to have Padu, Moran.
No, we saw the dynamic situation. We saw Moran and currently a current non-player in the other Special K, Kestra Trias, sorry, I should say Kestra Bessie now, who's off the field, and how damaging they were in the same backfield. You could have a real thunder and lightning combination if we're ever lucky enough to see Patu and Moran.
It'd be dangerous. It'd be dangerous. I'd love to see that in a international tournament.
Or even Queensland. You know, geez,
Queensland.
The other states would.
What
lot of
defense
trouble.
could stop that?
Carey looking for the onside kick. It's a beaut. Can she recover it there? Almost.
A really good idea there. Really good. Smart. Personally, you need the fastest people next to the kicker in that situation. You need everyone to know what's going on. So it didn't look like they all knew what was going on to me. So defense needs to step up here, get the ball back, give Cubis, Uwers, Padu, Floratis, give the whole offense a shot to go down there.
We've got enough
and tie it up.
playmakers.
Yeah.
Well, is it too much to ask? Liz Patu, she's done everything you can ask of a playmaker there. She's forced turnovers, she's scored long-range touchdowns, she's laid big hits. We need the rest of this defense to stand up, and that they might do on that last play. I thought Newell might have been in with a chance, but again, these exchanges, these snaps, causing headaches for the Ravens offense.
To touch on the point of the amount of offensive series you get per half, and you fumble 5-6 times a game, that affects 5-6 plays, which is a massive difference in terms of how many plays you actually get per half, per game.
And it's a constant feature in any of the nine-man force, whether it's Colts or whether it's the women's division. There's just not enough time in a week as we see a catch made here. Who's that? I think it's Swaziland on the far sideline.
There is always that discussion. Do we need more time, or the amount of time we put in is too much? Like, we're burning out players on every single team, as seen by the lack of numbers on a few teams in all divisions. I don't know the answer.
And like, maybe you might never know, but it's something that's constantly seen. And before we went to these regular shotguns, before shotgun was the regularity, that was a beautiful snap on that note. And it's intercepted there. Toa grabbing a pick. Would have loved to return that, but she gets it done. A pick 6 last week.
Worst possible outcome. If you're the Ravens, you want to be running the ball, low risk plays, get yourself in a good punting situation, good field position to defend the rest of this game, because we've got to be under a few minutes right now. It'd be close to the 2-minute warning.
It'll be awfully close. We'll keep an eye out for that. This is it on replay. Live action coming back soon. And here it is. Oh, that was a catch, sorry. It's the play earlier. But, yeah.
So
Toa wearing the bad jersey, which I've been confusing all season. Yeah, grabs a possible game-reviving pick. So we'll get back to your thoughts in a second there, Jonesy. Cubis with an opportunity now to snake this. Moran putting her under pressure. The pass was to an open Ewers, incomplete.
You got to hit that. That's the game tied up.
With time.
If you hit that, right? So I think Cubis has the arm to hit that.
And she has
but, it comes back down to how much has she actually practiced at quarterback, how much has Ewers practiced at receiver. Nine-woman football, there's a lot of switching, players playing a lot of different positions.
Yeah, attention certainly gets divided amongst positions. There we go, back to it this time on the slant again. It can't connect, bringing up third down. This will be fourth down territory there, but just between Ewers and Cubis, their radar going astray on the last couple passes.
No, I think there's perfect opportunity to find the number 2 receiver.
Who is that at the moment? Is it Liz Patu or is it Sunshine Lawrenson?
No, I think it'd be Lawrenson or Padu. Padu doing a wheel route to the outside.
Right now, a draw. A draw would be an absolute laugh.
Yeah, it'd be crazy.
Patu has hurt them vertically, and they will go to the speed option with Cubis. Cubis doesn't even think about pitching late. And this will bring up a fourth down, a long fourth down in that. Looking to
get conservative. Very conservative, considering the context. We're assuming right now, but I think there's not too much time left in this second half. So, big fourth down, close to 9-ish.
Yeah, look, a long 8, if not. I just think about in the first quarter, they got a deep vertical to Liz Patu. Yeah. With Moran blitzing so much, now she'll switch over to the right side, and we all know Isla Cook's coming. You should have a little bit of space in behind them. And that's where they go. And it is to Liz Patu, but tricky on the play, getting the bat down. On fourth down, turning the ball back to their offense, and they might be blessed with an opportunity to run this out now.
Just Cubis dropping back. Big block from Padu and Ayla Cook. Really good block, actually.
Tricky aware of that.
Yeah, it looks like Tricky gets her hands in there.
And that's the unfortunate part of leaving yourself to a long down situation. It's all great to have those routes available to you, but obviously you've been talking about the contextual situations of downs all night. When it's fourth and long, you have an idea of where those options reside.
I think end of the day, you got to think long term. So if it is second down, you need to figure out what's going to be the most ideal third down situation. A little fumble there.
They need to sort this out. Right now, the Ravens are in a situation where they should have a win under their belt, but right now it's still up for grabs.
This game should be over. I mean, the amount of fumbles for this team is that's either 6
That
or
being
7.
said, I don't
for
want
my
to paint that the Ravens are unique to this issue. I've certainly seen it Colts level, men's level,
Yeah.
and whatnot, but it's one of those situations. Do you need to consider learning under center just for these sort of game clinching situations?
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen just as many mistakes under center, so I don't know what the answer is either.
I don't know what the answer is.
Another one, the Thunder on top of it. The Thunder, Puka Kala has a recovery.
It's silly. It's silly.
And is this a situation, dare I say, Sharman's an experienced player, but is this a situation where it just gets into your head?
Oh, I mean, I don't even know what to say. The amount of fumbles there have been in this game for the Ravens.
Well, that wasn't even a mishandle there. We'll get another opportunity to look at that, but I think she actually thought she was handing this off to Christian. Just take a look at her hands here. I'm not sure.
I don't know, but there's something going on the Ravens' communication or play calls or how they understand the plays. If you have 7 to 8 fumbles a game, it's really hard to win. So they're still winning, which is good.
A huge stunt there, tried by the Ravens. Valich
Valid.
breaking the tackle and getting downfield. 2 minutes 30, by the way, was the time fed into my headset there. So there is still plenty of time here for the Thunder now with possession deep in the Ravens' half.
If you think about it, how many teams have won a game of football after 8 fumbles? It doesn't matter if they're lost or won, but that's 8 plays affected.
That are not only no gains, but negative gains.
Yeah, exactly. So, surprising that the Thunder haven't capitalised on those situations, but they're in a good position right now to go down there.
And the Thunder had their own situations. They almost lost the game against the Gold Coast Stingrays when usual centre, I think Rachel Carey had to come out because of injury, and they had to move Laura Newell in there, who was an inexperienced snapper, minimal time preparation, I imagine, and they almost coughed up the game there. So it's one of those situations. Your centre, no matter the level of the competition, is one of the most underrated yet important players of the offense.
That's the first thing you practice day one.
Yes.
Day one, centre quarterback exchange, whether that's under centre, shotgun, pistol, whatever formation. That's day one. And you have a backup, and then you have a backup, because there's going to be injuries.
That said, there's only so many minutes to be practicing it, and there's a lot of stuff to cover. Snaps sometimes just gets pushed to the wayside. Snaps and snap reception. And this is a long pass to Valich, and it's broken up by Todd.
Right idea. So it's one-on-one matchup on the outside, which is favourable. That ball just needs to be further in front, or the receiver needs to realise that it's going to be back shoulder. So I'm not sure if it's intentional that it was placed back shoulder.
Good bump and run coverage as well by Todd on that last play.
I do like those one-on-one matchups on the outside in nine-person football. I'd take that every single day.
And now it's Ewers up against Todd on the outside. They'll go to the other side. There's time to an open Roberts! Roberts gets behind the defense and scores here. We're a 2-point conversion away from a tied ball game.
Well, good throw, good loft.
Well, let's see what concept they came up to get this one.
I don't know what it was, but so it's just getting Roberts out into the flat.
It's the wheel.
Yeah, it's the old flat, turn it up into the wheel. It's a slow developing play, but a wheel route is always normally effective. You're asking a defender to go into the flat and get depth. Always going to be a tough challenge. Big play coming up here, though.
Huge clutch play there from the Thunder offense. 20 points to 18, a 2-point conversion here.
You got to be thinking Padu. Give it to best player in a team. Let it do
Don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. And they will try it. And no, they'll go back over to the top to Ewers. Ewers came up big for them in the end zone a couple drives ago. They go back to her and incomplete. Good coverage there from the All-Australian defensive back, and Britt Todd there stuck with her the entire way. Ewers did have the body up position on her, but he needed to be drilled in there.
Well, you got it. If it touches their hands, it's catchable. It doesn't matter. It's catchable for the receivers. So that's 2 points that should have tied up the game. It didn't. bit of work to do for the Thunder here, but 5 minutes ago we were saying this is game over almost. So still loved time.
Well, now the big question is, can the Raven offense hold on to the football?
I don't know anymore.
And we're inside 2 minutes, 20 points to 18.
I don't think I've seen a game with 8 fumbles.
20 points to 18. The Ravens lead the Thunder. 2 points between these two teams, but this game is far from over based on what we've seen. And, well, she's touched that before the 10. Is that not? That should be.
I think that's legal.
It's just the offense. It's just the kick team that can't.
So, the Thunder need to get down there and clear out that central player, which didn't happen, right? So they need to get there 100% first. Big ask from here for the Thunder, but we've seen crazy things.
Right, well,
They're going under center, I think, Kenny. They might have.
so I think you've got to take the chance on it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably more effective than what's happened.
And it's to take the knee, and the Thunder will respect that. And you do wonder if moving forward, the Ravens do consider the option of adding under center to their play calling.
I hope so.
In any case, they've done enough to hold on. They left the door open for the Thunder, and the Thunder certainly tried to slam their way through it, and came a 2-point conversion from taking an equal share of the points this evening. But it is Birdtown who defend home turf, and again add the second loss to the Thunder's season so far with a 20-18 victory. Moran, 3 second half rushing touchdowns, got the Ravens on the board, but not before they scored a safety to get them on the board initially following an awkward kickoff. The Thunder, they had a touchdown to Amanda Ewers through Cubis, followed by a rushing touchdown, an amazing rushing touchdown there from Liz Bartu, and then the clutch touchdown at the end of Taylor Roberts to make things really interesting in the final seconds of the game. But alas, the Ravens hold on. Kenny Andres, thanking you on behalf of live streaming Brisbane, and Mike Jones. Mate, thank you for joining me for an afternoon of football. I know it was your bye week, and your missus was probably wanting you home, but thank you for joining me, mate.
All good, mate. Loved it. We'll see you in a few weeks, eh?
All right, see you indeed, and thank you for joining us. We hope you see us next week as we're back here at Kitchener Park for another couple of games of Gridiron Queensland action. Stingrays, Ravens, another huge matchup next week in the men's division. Thank you for joining us. See you then.